Hello and welcome to the Stacking to Win podcast. I'm Big Italy 42 here talking about some stacks courtesy of our author, Zach. He wrote up some of his favorite plays, but we'll start off with talking about some guys, some teams that are in great spots that are going to be pretty popular, starting with Green Bay Packers. Of course, throwing in Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams is probably going to be the highest owned player at any position, really on any site this week, especially on DraftKings. So that's going to be a very popular stack. Both sides of the Cowboys-Giants game looking to be a very viable stack there as well, especially with so many good receivers, quarterbacks who can put up big-time numbers, and two defenses that really just aren't that good. So keep those in mind as well. Zach mentions that at the beginning of his article, of course, here. And he mentions his top stack here, the Falcons, facing off against the Eagles. This is the Monday night game, one of the two Monday night games, I should say. And they have a nice team total of 26.5. Of course, the pairing of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones is going to be a popular one this week, and for good reason, especially with Matt Ryan being very cheap on DraftKings, just $7,500. So I expect his ownership to be a little bit lower on FanDuel than it is on DraftKings, but certainly this is a very viable duo there to start off your stack. There's an Eagles defense that was just a bad secondary. Gave up almost 2 touchdowns a game last year, 8 yards per attempt. We know Matt Ryan's history at home. He plays much better at home. Throw in guys like Tevin Coleman here, especially, once again, DraftKings, very, very cheap. Tevin Coleman locked into that starting role. Should see a ton of touches, especially Devontae Freeman. Is limited or can't go. He's questionable at the moment. Roddy White thrown in there as well into your stack. And then Devin Hester is the last one there. Looks like he's going to sit out now. Leonard Hankerson is a viable option to stick in there instead of Devin Hester. Looks like he has not fully recovered for turf toe, and that news just came out just a few minutes ago here, and it's Friday afternoon. So keep that in mind there. If you were using Hester as a sneaky play, he is not likely to go in this one. Other side of this exact same game, the Eagles. Sam Bradford making his official debut for the Eagles. And, man, this guy looked incredible in the preseason. DeMarco Murray also making his debut. You could pair both those guys there. Both of them fair price. I mean, it seems like same old story, guys being cheap on DraftKings. But Jordan Matthews at $6,800 on FanDuel looks very nice. Much cheaper than some other guys with his type of ceiling. So paired Bradford and Matthews there. Nelson Aguilar, the newcomer in here, he's expected to be a big part of this role as well. Then you've got Zach Ertz. Maybe if you want to go with a Brent Selleck instead to try to differentiate, whatever you want to do. This is another offense that is in a great spot here. DeMarco Murray, a nice standalone cash games, whatever you'd like there. And DraftKings at just $6,700. I like Jordan Matthews as well on in any format, but this is certainly a very viable stack. Nice big team total for you there, so keep that in mind there. A value stack, a team that could put up big numbers, not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You can fit in some decent plays with them, and he's got the Dolphins highlighted here, and I love that. Ryan Tannehill, Jarvis Landry, going to be a great duo there, not an expensive one at all, and especially, once again, on DraftKings. But Devontae Parker is the interesting part of this one. Devontae Parker, we know the huge upside play from his college days at Louisville, and this is a guy that is just absolutely tremendous, huge talent. So that's a guy you're certainly looking at. And maybe if you want to go a smaller stack, maybe just go those 3 guys, something like that. Lamar Miller, the running back in there, we know he had some flashes of brilliance last year. Was kind of a frustrating play at times and in previous seasons with some mess in that backfield. But last year really emerged as a big-time threat there. Kenny Stills now coming over from New Orleans. Throw him in the mix there. And then newcomer again, Jordan Cameron at tight end. I think he's we know how good he is when he can stay healthy. He's struggled with the Browns, but mostly to stay healthy and lack of quarterback play. But Tannehill has certainly emerged as not only a viable quarterback, but one of the better young quarterbacks in all of football. So this is a great spot for them. And this is a Redskins defense that down there with the Bears as, depending on who you ask, worst defense in all of football. This is just an awful defense. And they give up 8.2 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns a game, similar numbers to the Eagles there, and opposing quarterbacks at a 108.3 rating against them, which is the highest in the NFL. So as if Ryan Tannehill needed help looking good in this one, looks like he's going to get plenty of that from the Redskins secondary. Contrarian stack right here. He's got the Chargers listed, and I like that one a lot here. You got Phillip Rivers, another one of those guys that just puts up numbers, seems to fly under the radar all the time. Some key pieces with him now. Stevie Johnson now in town. Nice cheap guy to throw in there. that you can consider. Keenan Allen, as we know, possession receiver, a volume type of guy. We saw him get double-digit catches multiple times the past few seasons. Melvin Gordon, the newcomer, we saw it. I mean, this guy put up unbelievable numbers at Wisconsin as a running back there. That's been a key piece that's been missing from that Chargers offense. Throw in Malcolm Floyd, your deep threat, and Danny Woodhead, your possession receiver out of the backfield. Great pass-catching back, guy that used to have a lot of success with Tom Brady. And this is a good spot here. 8th highest team total. Chargers tied there with the Colts. And last year's numbers, Zach says he's not buying into that very much, and I'm in agreement with him there because there was just not a lot of healthy players in that offense. And adding these new players and certainly adding just a running game in itself here, consistent running game, so it's certainly going to open things up for Phillip Rivers, who is consistently among the league leaders in passing yards anyway with whatever he has. So I'm definitely a big fan of this one. Nice contrarian stack there. But like I mentioned at the beginning, throw out those guys. Green Bay, of course, those guys that you're looking to stack. Giants, Cowboys, Romo, Des Bryant, going to be a popular one. Odell Beckham and Eli Manning as well. If you have any more questions, you can find him on Twitter at ZachScottMoxie. I'm at Big Italy 42, and we are at DF Cafe. So check out all of our great NFL content, MLB content, college football, everything there at dailyfantasycafe.com. And go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Got lots more great content coming your way.